Breaking news. Things are hot behind the scenes at the Baltimore Ravens, and fans are very excited about all this movement. In the last few hours, you must have watched the second round of the draft, and I need to talk to you about some important points here. Before continuing, make sure you've already hit the like button, but only do so if you're a true Ravens fan and believe we'll make it to the Super Bowl. If possible, comment like this: "Go Ravens, let's go to the Super Bowl." Now, let's get straight to the point. In the second round, the Baltimore Ravens made a bold move by selecting edge rusher Mike Green from Marshall. This pick has already generated a lot of controversy among Ravens fans, and for good reason. Eric DeCosta once again demonstrated patience and precision in the draft room. It's almost as if Baltimore came away with 2 first-round talents this year. That's how Mike Green was rated by some draft analysts. Green, who recorded an impressive 17 sacks and nearly 23 tackles for loss last season, wasn't just another prospect. He was a true game breaker. Numbers like that don't just happen. They demonstrate real dominance on the field. Throughout the offseason, Ravens fans and analysts knew the team would be targeting an edge rusher. The only question was when. Would it be in the first round or the second? They answered that emphatically by snagging Mike Green early in the second. Importantly, this wasn't a pick based on hope or potential. The Ravens picked someone who has already proven he can produce at a high level. They weren't looking for a development project this time. They needed someone who's ready to make an immediate impact. Pairing Mike Green with the likes of Kyle Van Noy and Odafe Oweh gives the Ravens a chance to truly terrorize opposing quarterbacks this season. When you bring in a guy who knows how to finish plays, it changes the whole dynamic of your defense. Former Raven Qadri Ismail, while speaking on the Vault podcast, made a great point by highlighting that Baltimore needed a true closer on the edge, someone who could seal the deal when it mattered most. Although Baltimore ranked near the top of the league in sacks last year, the pass rush often felt inconsistent. Hot one moment, ice cold the next. Kyle Van Noy also offered some insight recently, explaining how Baltimore's pass rush approach varied depending on the opponent. Sometimes they were told to focus on containment rather than full-on pressure, depending on the opposing quarterback. It makes sense strategically, but it also helps explain why the pass rush sometimes seemed to disappear at crucial moments. With Mike Green's relentless style and natural knack for getting to the quarterback, Ravens fans have reason to believe those dry spells could become a thing of the past. But no story about Mike Green is complete without addressing the cloud of controversy surrounding him. During the Ravens' post-draft press conference, both John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta were pressed heavily about off-field allegations against Green, dating back to his high school and college days. DeCosta, although visibly annoyed by the repetitive questioning, made it clear that the organization had conducted a thorough investigation. They spoke extensively with Mike Green himself, consulted numerous individuals connected to his time at Marshall and Virginia, and relied on their highly regarded scouting department to vet the situation fully. According to DeCosta, the team is confident in the homework they did before making the pick.
Still, the decision raised eyebrows because Baltimore has long preached a zero-tolerance policy regarding off-field issues. Fans are questioning how that principle holds up when a player like Mike Green is drafted amid unresolved allegations. It doesn't help that the Ravens are already dealing with an ongoing situation involving kicker Justin Tucker, who is also facing serious accusations. Although the Tucker situation remains unresolved and both cases involve allegations, not convictions, the optics aren't great. From an organizational standpoint, the Ravens are walking a fine line between maintaining their locker room culture and chasing the kind of elite talent that could push them over the top. That's the balance they're trying to strike with Mike Green. On the field, however, the move makes a lot of sense. The Ravens' edge rusher room has major uncertainty looking beyond this season. Odafe Oweh is approaching a decision year on his 5th-year option, and as of now, it's not clear if the team sees him as a long-term building block. Kyle Van Noy, while highly effective, is aging and playing on a short-term contract. David Ojabo, a second-round pick from a few drafts ago, has been a massive question mark. Injuries have robbed him of the development time he needs, and there's no guarantee he sticks on the roster past this year. Adissa Isaac remains an unknown commodity, and while Tavius Robinson has flashed, he profiles more as a rotational piece than a centerpiece pass rusher. That creates a prime opportunity for Mike Green to step right into a big role. With limited competition for snaps behind Oweh and Van Noy, Green is likely to see the field early and often. His proven production and aggressive play style could be just what the Ravens' defense needs to elevate from good to elite in 2025. Adding a player like Mike Green is not just about the immediate impact either. It's about setting up the future of the Ravens defense. By next season, this pass rush group could look completely different, and Green could be the centerpiece of that new identity. If he plays up to his college production, Baltimore could have landed a cornerstone player in the second round, a rare find for any NFL team. It's also worth noting that patience really paid off for the Ravens. Mike Green fell to the second round, almost certainly because of the off-field concerns. Talent-wise, he could have easily gone much higher. Eric DeCosta's calculated risk could pay massive dividends if Green stays out of trouble and produces at the level he's capable of. Ravens fans, I'm dying to know, what do you think about the Mike Green pick? Was it worth the risk? Could he be the game-wrecking closer the defense desperately needs? Let me know in the comments below. The excitement around Mike Green's arrival in Baltimore is undeniable, but the story is just getting started, and there's so much more to dive into when it comes to how he fits into the Ravens' long-term vision and what his presence could mean for the team dynamics moving forward. First off, one thing Ravens fans need to keep an eye on is how Mike Green adjusts to the NFL speed and physicality. Coming out of Marshall, while he absolutely dominated at the college level, stepping into the NFL is a completely different animal. However, the Ravens are betting heavily on the fact that his high motor, natural athleticism, and refined pass rushing technique will translate quickly. One major advantage Green brings is his advanced hand usage and ability to bend around the edge, skills that young pass rushers often need years to develop. That makes him NFL ready in ways that few rookies are. Another key point is Mike Green's mentality. According to those close to him during his college years, Green is a grinder, someone who embraces the underdog role and carries a chip on his shoulder. After falling to the second round and dealing with constant questioning about his character, you can bet that chip just got a whole lot bigger. If there's one thing Baltimore loves, it's a player who feels like he has something to prove. Historically, guys with that mindset, think Terrell Suggs, think Matthew Judon, have thrived in Baltimore's defensive culture. Now, it's also worth mentioning how Mike Macdonald's defensive scheme could maximize Mike Green's potential. Macdonald's system thrives on creating confusion at the line of scrimmage, moving players around, and giving quarterbacks different looks. Green's versatility, ability to line up wide or even kick inside on certain packages, could make him a Swiss Army knife for the Ravens' pass rush. Expect to see Macdonald get creative in deploying Green alongside veterans like Kyle Van Noy and young players like Odefoa to keep offenses guessing. Another fascinating angle is leadership development. Although Green will obviously be expected to contribute on the field, the Ravens also value locker room presence heavily. Veterans like Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, and Justin Matabike have become the emotional engines of the defense. The Ravens will need to carefully nurture Green's growth not just as a pass rusher but as a professional who can one day help lead the unit. Now I'm turning it back over to you, Ravens flock. What's your gut feeling? Was selecting Mike Green the right move for the team's future? Are you excited about his potential, or are the off-field concerns giving you second thoughts? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you loved this deep breakdown, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates, and check out the video suggestions popping up right now on your screen for even more Ravens news. Let's keep this conversation going. Ravens flock, go Ravens!